What's up, y'all? You know I had to do something for the Tea Time family. I'm not a rapper, by the way. I'm gonna just try to sound cool. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is T. That's T to the I-A. I used to play Sega Dream back in my day. Player one, cause my settings always on play. The oldest sibling of my family. I'm ready to rumble, then proceed without fumble. All you other cats is just like the giants in trouble. Recorders speak some truth, dispel they lies. Relax, sit back and chill, cause it's tea time. Peace, assalamu alaikum. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 of Tea Time Podcast. I had to drop another episode before we get to 2021. I had to drop another episode for you all because I know that a lot may be going through all of our minds. So this is just a quick episode just to get into my thoughts of 2020 and what I think we should take into the new year. First of all, this stems from just a lot of the posts I've been seeing talking about goodbye 2020, hello 2021, we need some good luck in 2021. I have the perspective, everyone. I have the perspective, and I want to share with you all that whatever you have in 2020 is exactly what you are bringing into 2021. What does that mean? Just because there is another year does not mean that that next day is not just another day. And if it is just another day, that means that you will continue to do what you do every other day on that day stepping into 2021. What the hell do I mean? I mean that just because we're getting a new year, just because 2020, which has been definitely different for all of us, just because 2020 is turning into 2021 does not mean things are going to automatically get better. It does not mean things are going to change. It does not even mean that you're going to be successful in whatever it is that you want to be successful in. The only option that will determine whether or not you are successful in your life is, guess what? You. It is not up to the year to determine what you do in your life. And I just wanted to stress that point because I'm seeing a lot of posts that they may be joking or whatever it is, but I'm seeing a lot of posts that are stressing the fact that once 2021 is here, everything is just going to be great, everything is going to be grand, and the things that we dealt with this year won't happen. Not that can't be the case. That's not true. Not going to happen. But you can be positive because what that does mean is that today you can start to make 2021 your year. You can start to make 2021 your year. 2021 your year. 2021 your year. Make 2021 your year. Okay, I can say it now. But I just want to emphasize that if you want to make next year better than this year, all you have to do is decide that it will be. Starting today, what you can do to ensure that next year is better than this year is to start using a planner, right? Start using a planner right here, January 1st. You can use a planner to write down everything that you're doing. Even if you're not in school, even if you don't have a job, using a planner is so useful. I've used it so much this year. For example, I wasn't using my planner. I kind of put it to the side for a while after I wasn't working for a while. Then I'm pregnant, having a baby. I got to pay rent now. I started school. All of this stuff happened at once. And I tried to continue on with my daily life without using the planner as I was doing while I had nothing going on with no job. It didn't work. So I started using my planner again, writing it down. Look at this thing, y'all. Look at this. For the people who are watching me on YouTube, do you see this? It feels so good just to scratch things out. My planner also has a notes section so I can write down ideas. But using a planner has been so stress relieving because it, number one, keeps me on track with the things that I have to do so that each morning I don't have to go in my mind and try to remember what it is I have to do. I have it written down. But also, Even just meaningless tasks like doing laundry, cooking. I can write it down, and once I cross it off, I feel accomplished. I feel rewarded, and I feel good and grateful for what I'm able to do. And that gratefulness just adds so much more to my day, to where I'm automatically going to get something else done as well. I did that today. That's why I'm recording this episode, because I completed all of my schoolwork. I completed my business preparation that I wanted to get into, and I even completed making a little getaway for me. So it's like, number one thing, a planner. Start on January 1st. The things that you need to get done throughout your day are going to feel much better when you can cross them out after you write them down. If you're not a person who likes to write things down like me, use your calendar on your phone. Use your calendar on Google. You know, you can find other ways to actually write down and plan your day if you don't like actually writing it down. I think writing it down makes it more impactful, but that's just the type of person I am. Moving on to something else that you can start today to make your next year better. List out 3 things that you're grateful for. List it out. Say it out loud or list it out. That's what you can do every single day to make your year better. Why? Because like I said, when you state how grateful you are for something, you bring those feelings and attract those feelings of greatness. You attract those feelings of gratitude, all of that, positivity. You bring that towards you, and you also reward yourself in knowing that, hey, I had this positive thing happen to me. I had these awesome things happen to me. I have a good life. I don't have a depressed life. I have a great life, because every day I'm telling myself what it is that I'm grateful for, and putting gratitude into the atmosphere, giving gratitude to God or whatever you believe in, the universe, etc. The energy you put out there is what you get back. If you thank God for the things that He allows to happen in your life, then He's going to continue to allow things to happen in your life, and you will continue to see the positivity in them. So gratitude, listing 3 things that you're grateful for every day is also a great practice. I've practiced that, and it's also gone into journaling. You don't necessarily need to journal in order to have a great year. Journaling sometimes can be a little stressful for me personally. So if you want to journal, go ahead and do that. For me, I'm getting back into it, but I don't think you need to journal every day to get things out of your mind. Sometimes it can come in the form of a podcast, in the form of speaking with somebody. It can come in the form of just writing down a list. But journaling isn't necessarily the thing that you need to do, although I do suggest it, right? Let's see, what else can you do in 2021 to make it your year? Do something that you've never done. You can start today to plan something that you've never done that you want to do. Get it out the way. Make sure that your goals that you have for what you've never done are realistic. Like, don't write and don't plan just yet to go away to, I don't know, China in March, just because you've never been to China. I've never been to China. But I'm not going to plan to go away to China in March, because I know that there's still a lot of travel restrictions going on. I know it may not be super safe for me and my child and family to travel around the world right now, etc., etc. There are a lot of changes going on in government. There are a lot of world changes. You have to stay, you have to stay knowledgeable about what's going on in the world. But like right now, that may not be the best goal to start with. But do a goal like something that you can do at home, something that you know is attainable, something that is within your control, right? So let's say like starting a podcast, you can do that. Or reading a book. I started a new book yesterday, Think and Grow Rich. I'll talk about that a little bit later on. But starting a new book and completing a book, that's a goal. You could even have the goal of getting a new job. Yeah, it is within your control to get a new job. It definitely is. I know the job market is bad, but you have to be kind of positive. You have to be optimistic about what you can accept. But also, you know, when you have a standard If your goal is just to get a job, then you have to create a standard of that job wherein it's not very specific right now, perhaps. If your goal is just to get a job. If your goal is to get a specific job, you have to watch the market specifically in what you're doing in order to know your chances of getting that specific job. Like right now may not be the best time to apply to be a flight attendant per se. I get a lot of people asking me how to be a flight attendant, and I'm like, hey, this is not the best time to do that. The market for flights, all of that, that's not at its best right now. I'm sure that applications, actually I know applications for some smaller airlines are open, but this is not the best time to be applying for that type of position in my perspective. Perhaps you can get a position working in the airport. Perhaps you can get a position, working at home for airlines, but to be a flight attendant, number one, not the safest job right now in my perspective, but I have a child. You don't know what you'll bring home every day. You're traveling a lot. And number two, a lot of people lost their jobs this year. So it's going to take a while for them to be able to hire those people back into the companies, as well as be able to take on new labor as well. It's going to take a while for airlines to get back in place. This is one of the biggest hits that airlines have taken since 9/11. So it's definitely, we have to be strategic and realistic about the goals that we create. But if you have the goal of getting a specific job, you may want to look at the market that you're trying to apply to, so that you know the chances and the how realistic you can be about getting that position. But maybe you have other goals, such as cleaning out your closet. I have a closet over there that I definitely want to clean out. Haven't cleaned out yet. I need it so that when I'm getting already a whole bunch of baby gifts. If you've gotten me a gift for my registry, shout out to you. But I definitely need to clean that closet out so I can put all of the baby stuff in there. Because baby girl is not here yet. And so we're just getting a lot of stuff that won't be used yet. But I appreciate all of the gifts. But myself, a goal of mine is to clean out my closet. Perhaps that is a good goal for 2020. 2021, my bad. That's a good goal for the new year. But I think you get my point now when it comes to goals. Making yourself have a good year is definitely starting out strong. So creating realistic goals and actually completing them, giving yourself a day to complete them, also goes hand in hand with the planner and goes hand in hand with writing things down that you're grateful for. Man, shout out to you. I think that your year is definitely on to being better. But I did want to go back to the thought of 2020 being connected to 2021. What do I mean by that? This year in 2020, I had a great, awesome year. I know. I don't mean to be insensitive or step on anyone who had a loss this year. I don't mean to be insensitive or step on anyone who did not have a great year and is feeling down about 2020. I definitely understand. Me personally, I am used to change. I went to 10 different schools growing up, including my college. I was homeschooled. I went to Christian school. I went to Catholic school. I am used to change. I moved several times. I lived in Maryland, New York, New Jersey. I am used to change. What does that mean? That means that when all of this went down in 2020, I had foresight. I saw that things were changing, and then I made moves within my life to be ahead of the curve so that I could be ahead of the change, so that if I lost my job, I would financially be okay. If I moved into my mom's house, so financially I can live rent-free or less rent, so that I would be able to now save more money in order to combat what was going on with my job, what possibly could happen with my job. I was traveling like crazy in 2019 and tried to bring that also into 2020. But when coronavirus started hitting the United States, I realized, shoot, man, we're going to get hit with this. I think this is going to be a worldwide phenomenon. So I was supposed to go to Korea for a few days, but I've gone to Korea before, and I saw the travel restrictions were being put up in early March for coronavirus. So I switched my trip around. For some reason, I knew that coronavirus it's not the heat, but I knew that being in an environment that is tropical, being in an environment that is natural, less gases, less city, I knew that would be safer for me, specifically with this virus. So in early March, when things started shutting down, I had already planned a trip, but I just changed my location to Costa Rica instead of going to Korea, so that I can be in the mountains, so I could have a natural trip. It was a solo trip, but this was just going to be something where I could be more on my own. I wouldn't be around a lot of people, and I could also do more naturey things that are better for your body, etc., etc. So I did that for my last trip, changed up my trip. I took leave from my job, and yeah, like I did a lot. I had the foresight, because of the changes that I've gone through in my life, I had the foresight to kind of change my life before life changed me, if you know what I mean. But I because of that mindset that I had, and because of quickly shifting my idea of 2020 and quickly shifting what I was going to do with my life this year, I was able to kind of coast through the year. Even when I found out that I was pregnant, which was unexpected and definitely not in my plans for the year. I had to move out of my mom's house to get a new place, so I had to take on rent. I was prepared and ready for it because I made such a flexible mindset, and I did not fight change when it came to me, but I accepted it. And every time a change would come, I would envision the positivity in that change. So yeah, I was at risk of losing my job, and I took severance from my company, right? So I had that change where I got cut off financially. But what was the positivity in that? I'm now flexible. I can now seek a career that fits me better. And I now have more time to build up a business. I now have all of my time to build up a business and to do better for myself instead of working for someone. So there was a lot that went into 2020 for me. I was always moving. I was always thinking. I was reading my Quran, which is definitely important. Building up your spirituality is critical for being able to accept change. It is critical for being able to stay positive in times like the coronavirus wave, etc. So that's another thing to bring into 2021. Bring your spirituality, whatever that may mean for you. Read your Bible, read your Quran, read your books, Bhagavad Gita. All of these books can impact you. The Power of Now, I love that book. All of these books can impact you spiritually to help you to better take on change. So that was definitely, reading my Quran was definitely critical, and keeping up prayer was critical in me being able to coast through 2020. And that doesn't mean there wasn't difficulty. That doesn't mean I didn't feel stress. I felt a lot of stress this year, all of that. But throughout the stress, I was just grateful for the fact that my family was safe, I was safe, and I was able to be flexible in these changes in my life. So I don't know, man. I've been seeing a lot of ideas and comments on 2020, and I just wanted to give my 2 cents. I just wanted to state my piece that 2020 is not going to be any different from 2021. The only thing that can be different is you. So if you want positivity, you want to be grateful for what you have, if you want that new house, if you want to close on a deal, you want a new job, whatever it is you want to do, you do that. Like, you have the mindset that it's already done and you're going to accomplish it. If you have the mindset to be flexible with change, you're going to feel less stress, you're going to feel less doubt, and you're not going to feel like this is the worst year in the world. You're not. You're just really not. Although, I pray that everyone who is listening to this, I pray that your 2021 will be the best ever. I pray that you will have a mindset that brings you floating through 2021, through every single difficulty that may happen. I pray that you will remain safe, your family will remain safe, and that you will be well fed. I pray that you will be mentally stable enough to coast through the year. I pray for myself, and I pray for you all, that everybody that's listening may have a wonderful year. I do want to share a story before I go. And like I said, it's actually from this new book I just started, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill is a dope author, by the way. I also read, what is it called? What's that book called? Sorry, I got my bookshelf over here. Outwitting the Devil. That is an awesome book as well, by Napoleon Hill. He seems to be just a guy who was around a whole bunch of rich guys like Carnegie and all of these people who are super rich, and he shared stories of what he learned from being around these people and in this environment. It's pretty nice. It kind of like, personifies these super rich people that we all hate. But Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, I read a story in there that he shared, and I want to share it with you all. This title of the story is called 3 Feet from Gold. So in this story, I'm just going to give a real short version. There was a man who found a gold ore in Colorado. He found a gold ore. This is back in the day, gold rush era. He found a gold ore in Colorado, and he knew he had to dig it out in order to get the gold and to reap profit from it. So he put in the work to rely on his family. He had family in Maryland. He contacted them in order to get the money so that he can buy a drill so that he can dig around this gold ore and get the gold to be able to make money. So guess what? His family had his back. He got the drill that he needed, and he decided to drill and get that gold ore. So he got it. He kept digging for the gold ore, and he found more gold. Like, he found even more gold after he was digging and drilling. So he kept going. And he was making money off of this ore, and all of a sudden he's out of debt. He's finally out of debt in his life because of the gold that he's been finding and digging and putting in this work for. And this is just a man, he had some money, but this is just a man. He's not any expert, etc. So he goes back one day to dig up the gold, and he cannot find the gold. He left it, and there was a gold ore still poking out of the ground where he could see it, but all of a sudden it disappeared. So this man is like pissed. He's pissed off, he's sad, and he's like, you know what? There's no more gold. So he decides to get the drill, and he sells it to this really poor man for very cheap. He sells the drill to this poor guy, and it's like, here, there's no more gold where I was digging, so good luck. And the poor guy, for some reason, he saw the opportunity in getting this drill that was no longer useful to this rich guy, right? So what the poor guy did was hire an expert, somebody who's an expert in digging, right? Expert in the land, archaeologist, you could say. I don't think it was an archaeologist, but somebody who's an expert in digging and in getting things from the ground. And the expert told that poor man, oh, what that rich man didn't see was the fault line. So there apparently was a fault line which shifted the ground and shifted that gold into another place. And the expert said that if you dig 3 feet beyond where that rich guy dug, you will find the gold ore and you'll be able to use it. And guess what that man did? He found that gold ore and he was able to use it. He was no longer a poor man, but it was because he sought the resources, he sought the help that he needed in order to accomplish something that he could not see. He could not see it. He could not see it at all, but he had faith and he did it. So when I think about that story, I think about 2021. I think about 2020 as well. Why? Because me right now, I'm facing difficulty. We all have definitely faced difficulty this year, but do not be the rich man, right, who is 3 feet away from finding the gold that he needs in order to make a profit and make him a richer man. We should not give up. We should not fail. In 2021, we should definitely pull on our resources, pull on our network, try to be better people to the people around us so that we can be successful in everything we do. And I just saw a quote that I have on my wall. I thought about it and I wrote it down the other day. This quote says, all successful people have vision. It doesn't matter if you're rich or if you're poor. What levels us out, what makes us good, is the fact that we have vision. So 2020, I hope it gave us insight. I hope it gave us vision. But we need to bring that into 2021. We should not leave 2020 behind, because when we connect the dots of this year into the next year, we'll have the fuel needed so that we can keep digging. We'll have the fuel needed and the vision needed, and we will have the motivation needed, and hopefully the resources as well, in order to accomplish the things that we want to in this next year. So, Happy New Year, everybody. This is my favorite time of the year, my favorite holiday besides my birthday. But yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. I pray blessings to your 2021, and I hope to speak to you more in the next year. I see a lot of great things coming for the podcast, a lot of great things coming for you. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to me on YouTube, Tea Time Podcast on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram.com/Tea Time Podcast. Follow me on Twitter, Tea Time Podcast. And you can also support me, Patreon.com/Tea Time Podcast or Anchor.fm/Tea Time Podcast. You support me there. You can also support me on Teespring, Tea Time Podcast. The link is going to be in the show notes. And buy a mug. Yeah, I'm selling mugs. That is going to be my trademark for the Tea Time Podcast, to have a mug. So if you can, please support. Shout out to everyone who has got me a gift for my baby. Shout out to everyone who has been supporting and listening and sharing the podcast. I love you. Thank you to the Tea Time family. You know who you are. And Happy New Year. Peace, everyone.